So here's a view coming in the front door. You know, we have our wood stove, which we picked up off Craigslist. That's been working great since we got it. That was like 150 bucks. I couldn't buy a new stove even remotely close to that for, 10 times the money. Keeps it, it has the ability to overheat this building. Shut the door, keep the bugs out. I love old tools, and when I find them, I clean them up. And they're always razor sharp, even though I don't use them for the most part. I always tell people anything that looks sharp in here is sharp. Yeah, and if it doesn't look sharp, it probably is sharp too. Those are very, very sharp. The kitchen area with the Luan floor that we put down. We got that idea from the Amish. It's holding up good. We've had it down for years now. It's got like 3 coats of poly down on it, and yeah, I wear my boots in here all the time. I'm bad about taking them off. I just vacuum up after I'm done. And it's a little dark in here, but you get an idea. The countertop, which was a tile countertop we put down, still holding up nice. It's some type of a cultured stone, I think. It was the cheapest natural stone that Home Depot sold. That's how we picked it out. Running water still not here, and I seriously doubt we're going to get to it this year. You know, it's in our to-do list. I have the water containers. I just need to run a ditch witch and run them down, and then get pumps. And I want to go with an instant hot water heater and filter it, and it's going to be rainwater fed. So it's on my to-do list. But yeah, we'll see if I win it if I get to it. But the cabinets I built are holding up nice. I always meant to cover the fronts up with some curtains, and I never got around to doing that. Here's where I said I need to put trim down on the windows, still on my to-do list. More old tools. Their butcher knife was awesome. I picked it up off Craigslist. Someone was selling it as a Halloween decoration. Yeah, it's very, very heavy and sharp. I mean, sharp for a butcher knife. It's not supposed to be razor sharp, but it's sharp. The back door, I need to redo this screen. We picked this screen door up. The screen and the door were either trash or we had them donated. I don't remember where they came from. But the screen door is failing, so we need to pick up a new one, and that'll be my to-do list. So we don't use this door because of that. We enter the dining area, which is way, way too dark to see. Let me stop the video and see if I can get it to come out. Okay, I adjusted my camera a bit to get more light. Yeah, here's our dining room area. Dining room set was a Craigslist find. And everything in here, it's a dining room. And all the stuff's holding up well. Kerosene light, we actually use those once in a while. I keep a couple of them. There's 2 up here. And then we have the triple burner one up here. And I had that one explode on me once, so it's more of a decorative piece. The fire got below the burner. Probably if you keep the tank full, so there's less fumes down below, probably better. But I'm like not. It looks really nice, and I'm not daring enough to actually use it anymore. Let's go up to the second floor. More old tools. This one I just picked up. I didn't pick it up. It was my grandfather's. It's a Woodsman's Pal, probably from the 50s or 60s. Metal sheath. Makes it pretty old. They don't use the metal sheath anymore. I sharpened it to razor sharp. That's an awesome tool. As a kid, we used it for all kinds of brush work, and I cleaned it up. But I'll use that tool. That's not going to be just a wall hanger. These are just wall hangers, although they are. That one's not that sharp. This one is. Our Amish built stairs. These have been holding up well. And we've never put a railing up, and I really should. It's on my to-do. I'm going to open up the shades back here to let more light in. Okay, so the shade's open. It's still pretty dark up here. I don't have the electric turned on. And I'm not planning on turning it on, but we still have to paint the walls up here on the lower section. We never got around to doing that, but we're putting the shelves in these cubbies in between the closet and the half walls. So we're gonna finish up the painting up here in the next couple weeks because of that. If we're gonna paint this side, we might as well do that side. I'll take you back into my bedroom, which is much brighter. And I'm still sleeping on the floor up here. Been my plan to actually put in build a bed. I need to pick up all the wood to do that. I need to get some larch and let it season, and then build a bed frame out of that. Over here, we're gonna do cubby shelves in here. So one just above the blue buck bin, and then enough for another blue bin to go above it. So it'll be 2 shelves in here. Let's see. So I mentioned things I would do differently. Let me go back downstairs and mention one. After being in here for several years, I would have moved that door, and I said this from the beginning, over to here to give us more usable space in the living room. I probably would have done more wood upstairs. The building kind of, it's built on stilts, and I just had it's stable, but I mean it's not. There's a bit of a shimmy to it, and it causes some drywall cracks. Not a lot of shimmy, but enough where the building probably moves a 32nd or 16th of an inch sometimes, and that causes the drywall to crack in places, especially up top. Not using any plywood on the building, it didn't stiffen it up, and we've learned a lot about construction since we built this building. If I ever re-side it, I will put plywood down, and that would stiffen the heck out of this building. The 6x6 piers that hold it up, I should put some 45-inch or 45-degree angle support pieces underneath it. That would lock up all those pieces much more than they are. It's on my to-do list. It's crawling around underneath there isn't all that much fun. Probably would have put more insulation down on the floor. It's got a 1-inch insulation down there. In the wintertime, the floor gets cold. I also would have covered the post with some metal right off the beginning to keep the mice out. We get mice in here. Not terrible, but they're here, and I trap them when I'm out. Other than that, I wouldn't change a lot. Maybe I've gone with 6x6s for the supports for the loft. They're holding fine. I think it would look cool over 6x6s. It wouldn't have cost anything really extra. Same with the front porch. If I'd done with 6x6s out there, I think that would have looked nicer. Someday we might actually just box that whole thing in and make it part of the living room and run a beam across the top. But those are some of the things I would probably have changed. Probably put the railing up right away, because instead of being on my to-do list, it'd be done. I actually have the material underneath the cabin for doing it. It's just, it's not important to me, so I don't do it. But this is the cabin. It's just under 1,000 square feet. It's 980 or something like that. And which helps in the permitting. Under 1,000 square feet makes it cheaper than if we were to build something over 1,000 square feet. So if I ever do put the bathroom addition on that I've planned on, that will affect the taxes, and so we'll see what we end up doing. Right now we still use the sawdust bucket in the tool shed, and that works. I have no problem with it. My wife has grown accustomed to it. Not that she likes it. She still prefers to go back to my father-in-law's place and use his bathroom. So I'm going to walk you back to the guest cabin now and show you around there. As I said, we did a lot of firewood this year. We were down to one of these stacks at the beginning, one of the ones in the middle here. And this is all deadfall. Mostly ash. There's some hickory from up on the hill. And a couple of maples that came down up on the hill. We haven't had to cut down a single live tree. So, I don't know how many. It's 30 feet long, give or take. About 4 feet tall. So, I split all this by hand. It's a lot of work involved in just keeping up. Let's go over to the guest cabin. Yeah, we had quite a few ash trees that were dead, and that emerald ash borer isn't too far from here, and we thought perhaps we had it, so we called the DEC and had them come in and check it out. I want to be good stewards of the land. If we have it, we don't want to be transporting it. We don't transport firewood anyways, but you're more careful with everything. They came over and looked, and it wasn't, which is good. So we're going to go inside the guest cabin. We'll start out here. My father-in-law has been working on creating a little patio area. We have a cement mixer. You can tell when we use a different bag. The different colors end up showing up sometimes. Or it's a different mix for some reason. But yeah, we got a nice little patio. Keep your boots a little cleaner when you come on inside. I'm not sure if last time how much he had stained. Got quite a bit of it. One fun thing we've had this year is a lot of bird nests. And they built one up in that crook. Any place they can find a stinking place, they build a nest. And we usually just let them do it. A lot of baby birds. It's fairly dark in here. I turned my camera off to try to adjust the ISO to make it a little bit brighter. So the floor got painted. Which is basically the finish we're planning on for right now for this floor. My father-in-law's been working on a wood box, which will end up right over here. Wood stove still where it was. That worked out well this past year. Take it into the back room, which will be even darker, so I might have to turn the camera off again. I can't make enough adjustments to get enough bright light in here. But, well, we have bunk beds installed. You can't see them. The old cot that I slept in over the winter is up in here. Back windows, and here's that lower section of the hatch, which I mentioned. It's just above the window, so in the event of a fire, you could actually, we're going to secure that cabinet to the wall, and then you'd be able to get out that way in case of emergency. All the wood sides on the first floor are done, and I'll go upstairs and see if you can see anything up there.
Light up the kerosene lantern hanging from the ceiling?
I don't think it'll throw off enough light to matter.
Why not?
So we still have just a ladder. And you can see the glare. That's 4 coats of poly down. And that's the little window I mentioned. And just below the window there's a trap door, so that in the event of emergency and there was a fire in this front area, which eventually there'll be some sort of a wall up, a railing or something, you'd have a motor egress, because you wouldn't get out that window. I guess you could if you had to, but it wouldn't be easy. So yeah, that's what we got done on this building. The floor is all planed, and then we shiplapped the boards and nailed them down. So we'll first put a ceiling. There's no ceiling up on here other than that's insulation. We'll do the ceiling back in this area next, and then we'll go forward. I'm thinking about having the Amish, instead of making us 1-inch boards, making us 3/4 for weight. We see it on structural boards, so Yeah, this is probably a pretty heavy building for the size of it. But yeah, that's it for this building. It's almost really done. We just got the board. We're building a small cabinet that's gonna go behind the door, countertop area. Put a Coleman stove on and stuff like that. And we just cut them to length, and we're going to put a high gloss thick finish on the top of it that we picked up, and we'll see how that works out. But there's not gonna be a large cabinet. We still have a closet back in here. One of the changes I've mentioned that to my father-in-law that we still haven't done, I'm not sure if we're actually gonna do. So if I was to do this again, I wouldn't have put the door right there. I would have put the door over here. And someday we may or may not ever get around to doing that. But that would give us one more corner to use for chairs and whatever. But that's going to be like the indoor outhouse. The actual outhouse is just over there. And then I also dug through we had a mound straight ahead. And I dug through that to create kind of a direct path back to my place. So you didn't have to walk all the way around. Yeah, so that's really it. It's been a busy year. But not as busy out here doing projects, which is why I said we haven't had a lot of updates. And if I start doing more things that are interesting, I can I'll videotape them. I mean, if people are interested in videos of chore stuff, I can do those. I still have other videos I need to get done. The electrical system is exactly like the video I posted. I haven't changed a thing on it. I'm not planning on it. I need to build an electrical system for out here sooner or later. We're going to put the panels over in the clearing and probably remove some trees so we get some sunlight in there. But this will be a much smaller system than mine. Probably a single battery, 12-volt battery. And make it portable so that if we ever wanted to move it around, we could. We'll put it in that bathroom area. Oh, another comment saying they just said again. People who complain about me saying I really don't care. I do it a lot. These videos are off the cuff, and there's not a lot of planning involved. So as I'm thinking about what I'm saying, I say a lot. If you don't like it, don't watch the videos. It's funny because the people who complain don't have any videos of their own. It's easy to criticize when you haven't done it, and haven't done the 50 videos that I've done and going over the content and trying to think of what you're doing as you're doing it. I don't have a script. I don't have it's just me talking. So I'm not gonna even apologize. But yeah, for next week we should come out. I should get those cubby shelves done. And the cabinet I hope to have finished. The base of it, that top finish, that high gloss, takes a couple weeks to set. And you gotta let it sit a week in between coats, so it's gonna take me a while. And then there'll be a gap again, at least a couple weeks. I do have some reviews I've been meaning to do. My Danner boots, which I'm wearing now. I picked up a second pair because they came on sale. And these are the summer boots. I picked up the winter, the Gore-Tex waterproof ones. I love these boots. I also picked up a pair of their hunting boots when they were on sale. So I have some boot reviews to do. And I have some knife reviews to do. I picked up a couple of custom knives that are really, really nice. At least I think they're nice. And they're different, and you don't see many reviews of them. So I will talk about those. And sooner or later, it's just time. But I think that's probably it for this week. I know it's not like I did any work. All we did this week was plane, cut some boards to length to get ready for next week. There's a big storm front coming this way. It should be here any time now. So we're cleaning up and getting everything in before it hits. Looks like it's going to rain easily all the rest of the day and probably into a little bit of tomorrow. So no point in getting ready to do some outdoors where we're gonna get soaked. But I think that's probably about it. This video is gonna be my longest video ever, and it shows the least amount of content really. But you know, it's a good overview for people who haven't watched all the videos from the beginning of the cabin. And if you have questions about the cabin, let me know. I can try to answer them. If you're asking me to design your solar power system, I'm not going to do that. I'm not qualified. I get a lot of requests for that. You're asking me for what you can run off. I'll give you an idea, but I can't. I'm not going to do load calculations for you. There's stuff on the internet for that. Yeah. But it also gives you an overview of the guest cabin, which is really done. I mean, you can people. I've slept in it. You know, it's usable as it is. If you moved all the crap out of the way, that'll be the next phase, to move the crap out. Yeah. So I guess until next weekend when I come back out. Thanks for continuing to watch.